Welcome to this week's Journey to Service.
Journey to something.
Before we start, thank you, William. What's this, 50? I don't know how many weeks he's done, but he's having a week off. So yes, it's going to go to, everything's going to go to shit.
Listen, we have William in our hearts, and we know that he's there with his compassion and his love and his kindness and his calm demeanor, and we'll continue to, well, I don't know, we might forget once in a while. We love you, William.
Where's the grinding rod today then, brother? We haven't got a grinding rod today. Anyway,
I'll tell you what I got.
Go on.
I got a minute to start it off, okay? I got one of these. It's like a little Saskatoon berry apple cider. Buddy of mine brings one over once in a while when we have a meal together, and he left an extra couple, so here we go.
I got a cup of tea.
Well, it is celebration day, brother. Like, honest to God, and another reason I wore this. It's just afternoon here, but I'm still in mourning, okay? Mourning for the narrative that is completely failed, completely gone. The story is over. The Kraken stories that Trumpy and all of his gangs, like whatever, they're going to take a lesson, okay? They're going to take a lesson this week from the Knuckle truckers, I'm calling them. Knuckle truckers. So these fuckers they've had enough. Like, honest to God, I keep checking on their website, Lee, and there's like, last night there was 65,000 members on this one Facebook page. This morning there's 116,000. It's growing by thousands every hour. They've got over $2 million in their pocket so far, and that's going to hit 4 or 5 by the time they get to Ottawa. Trudeau is announcing that he may go on vacation this week.
Perfect time, right?
When the invasion happens, like, they've got over 30,000 trucks registered already. 30,000. If you do the math on that, I'm just going to quickly go over this before we get started. So 50 feet in between front bumper to front bumper, if you say on average, 30,000 trucks is over 400 miles. and then the city of Ottawa, sorry, I didn't look that up, how many population it was, but you just toss in an extra, 50,000 people. what that's going to happen there? Like, it's bad enough that I'm thinking after the show, I'm going to start my walk, because where they're meeting in Calgary is kind of a long ways from a bloody train. So I'm going to have to walk. It's probably about 10K, but I'll handle it. I'll find a bus to get home if I have to. But this place they're meeting, I'm thinking, holy shit, stop, right? it might have room for, I don't know, a couple hundred trucks or something like that. I can't even imagine what the streets are going to look like down there tonight. So I'm going down there. I got to go and check this out.
It'd be beautiful to look at. It's interesting to see. I was watching one of the truckers the other day talking to this, and the going across the border, and where that border stuff's been brought in and they weren't going across. So the loads to America and then back to Canada, all gone, all stopped. Everything's finished. So where's the narrative, guys? It's time for a holiday.
Like I say, like, how long ago did we meet? It's a year and a half ago, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, please remind everybody what you said about how thankful you were to get to this point in humanity.
And then, that last year.
Don't use that word.
We're allowed to say it because it whatever. I can be edited.
We may need William to do that a little bit of editing there, but probably not. They're giving up on every angle.
Well, they could try and put it for those two things. I'm not saying anything more about it. We said all that in the past, but we took all that down, didn't we? Prior to them catching it. So yeah, it's this whole narrative is breaking down completely. I mean, you've seen it in the UK with our friendly Boras. Telling everybody that it's all finished now, guys. You can go back to normal. I think Macron's done the same in France. What's going on, guy? And so the whole
they're trying
crumbled. Yeah, they lift the carpet up and we'll just brush it under there. Nobody will notice, guys.
In less than 2 minutes, Boris Yeltsin Johnson went from a communist bad guy to the hero of the UK. Like, I couldn't help thinking of Yeltsin Johnson.
I know I heard you chuckling on the private messages about that, but that people, I mean, I don't know. We know that it's a show, right? We know where it's going with the show, and we know it's final curtain's coming close. Must be, because the whole thing's breaking up. But it's such a slight in the face of anybody with any intelligence what's going on out there. It just pisses on your intellectual ability. What they're actually talking to and the way they're saying it is like, you're all fucking Muppets. You're stupid. Everybody is stupid out there because nobody can put 2 and 2 together or 1 and 1 together to link that to that to that. So we can say whatever we want with impunity, and you'll lap it up because you don't know any better.
I'm sorry, brother. It's just too much. You see, I even wore my black shirt for the funeral today and my white hat, because everybody thinks I'm a white hat. The fuck's a white hat? Those fuckers haven't done nothing.
They told a story. They told a story. I mean,
they told a story.
This is where we're finding it at the moment, brother. I don't know about you, but we're finding it. I'm finding it all over the place. Is this belief in something else that was told to us 2 years ago that's going to happen when? And, like you were saying about Trump, I mean, I'm not going to knock anything that anybody's done because it did progress.
Of course not. We're not here to run down Trump. Right. We got to remind everybody out there, we'll have no fucking viewers left at all.
That was the idea of setting up this Tower Eternally, to keep your channel okay, and you got yours wiped. But the juxtaposition, right? So either way, White Hat Military, Trump, Nizara Jizara, Avi's, GCRs, and all of these things all did a job of uplifting consciousness. They did open up avenues of discussion, thought processes, whatever, inside this storyline. So they progressed it. But then they stopped progressing it, and people then started to progress it themselves on tangents. As if these guys had said they were going to do anything other, but then all these stories were made around what this initial thing was said. And these stories now are believed more than the initial thing. So they never even said they were going to do half the stuff that people believe they're going to do. They added bolted onto it by another extrapolating the story. Oh, he said that. Well, I put this to it, and everybody believes my part. You're like, come on, guys, come on. At a certain point in time, we've got to stop believing in something else and just believe in ourselves. But easier said than done, my friend, eh? It seems.
Well, the beauty of it is I mean, and I got shit, and I gained a few followers on my YouTube channel, and then poof, they fucking gone again. Every time I said something about that cutie pie team, because we can't say that.
Oh, yes. I got you now.
The cutie pies, like that, what they did was, well, Trump was talking in code. Like, these are the letters. This is the fucking gematria. That's what he's using. Everybody came up with their own story. And it's like Trump is standing in front of the mic saying, Biden is bad. China is bad. I'm the only good guy. That's all he ever fucking said. And everybody's like, and then he said recently again, I like loans. I like using other people's money. You fucker. You manifested the money with your autograph. You stole a little bit from the people that rent out your space in your building and used that to pay the bankers to start another credit line. Like, fucking tell the truth or get the fuck out of the way. Now he's out of the way. If he wants to come back and be the hero, good for all of you cutie pies. Good for all you patriots, all the other words that you're using. And I love all of you. That's the beauty of this, is that we can do that, Lee, because we're making fun of it, but we still love humanity so much that we love all of you. You create your stories. You manifest whatever the fuck you want, as long as it's not government. Govern mine. Do whatever you please.
That's the kicker, is that government, and that's why you lose. You've lost viewers, my friend. The point being is, Randy's actually not having a go at Trump or what Trump done. It's just the belief in what Trump was going to do that's the problem. It's not, Trump never promised to be anything more than what he was. He never did. It was
That's
the
right.
expectation that he would, and that all the other stuff that came onto it. The same with your cutie pie thing. That was mixed. That initial symbol was mixed with another word, which became the buzzword in the media. But that cutie pie, not well known, or anonymous, however you wanted to put that, if I can get away with that, doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. There is nowhere it exists except in media. So, there's people that read and do some research, and they don't particularly want to be known, so they may be anonymous. And there's something giving out some ideas of where to look. And they got blended together, and that created a new narrative for the media. And everybody's now got this cutie pie, not very well known thing. They're all figments. They're all part of waking up. They're all part of go and look there, go and look there, go and look there. That's all they are. That's all they ever were. Nothing more, nothing less. So did they do what they were supposed to do? Yes. Where's the expectation? Only if you put an expectation on them. There was none. They never said they were going to do this, that. There was no end date, and there was no detailed outline of what they were going to do. It was just, have a look here, have a look there. That's why I love the point about the word question. So you can take cutie pie and just call it question, just question. Of course, most people don't. They wait for the answer. And that's where we are. That's where we've been anyway. And I think that, like you say, in your morning, the narrative is, well, the hole's dug and the box is going down into the ground. There's lots of people around with shovels ready to fill it back in. It's that close to finished, because what else can they say now, these buffoons? What else can they, how can they back tread what they've created? Oh, it's all gone now, it's finished, just forget about what happened. What? How does that happen, guy? What? Fucking hell. All right. So we got it. This is where we are. So with all of that crumbled, then where? So now we get into what you came up with the other day about beliefs. See if you wanted to extrapolate a little bit on where that topic can go, my brother.
Yeah, that's perfect. And that's where my mind was going with this too, is, okay, I'll settle down. I'll quit laughing. And
no, not for this one. William's not here. We can do this.
Okay. But like it's I'm gonna take a sip. And this is only the first one I cracked, you guys. Like, I'm so joyful in myself, I don't need booze for that, but I thought it'd be a celebration day. So let's go into what Lee said. Like, we're talking about media being the outer experience, right? What's the inner experience? Let's just go there and try and bring it to a little bit of seriousness without William going like this. So, everything is a story, okay? And I don't care what anybody says. Imagination is memory. Like your dear AG says, a friend of ours that came on a few of the shows. I better not mention her name on this one because it's such a wild show, but who I mean by AG. She says, like, imagination is simply your remembering. So the only thing I remember, okay, compared to other people who I do not, again, I'm not talking against Trump. I'm working with him, like, if he wants to do some stuff, come on, step it up, Trumpy, like, and the same with people that go into past life experiences or, regression therapy that leads to, the word, what the hell they call it? Oh, come on. What's the word I'm thinking of? Past life experiences. Oh, rebirth. What's the word for rebirth?
Previous reincarnation. Previous incarnation.
Reincarnation. Sorry. Thank you, Lee. That's why I need you, brother. Keep me grounded with these word things, because it's all words. The fuck else are we going to do? We can speak light language if we want, but then nobody really gets us. So we have to try and use these word things, right, to build worlds. And when you drop the L in there, you can choose. It's either Lucifer or limited or love. And I think that love is the word, the letter to drop into word to make this world better, right? Simple as that.
Oh, dude.
So just to kind of finish off my thought process is that, what I remember is nothing. Okay, like nothing. When I come squirting out of my mother's womb, like there was nothing. And then there started to be things, and one of the very first things that came along was mine. This is mine. Give me my water. I want your boobie in my mouth, that kind of stuff. Like, it's mine. But everybody has their beliefs in what God is and their stories of what God is. But it's nothing. Okay? It's nothing. But nothing is still love. Because love means that it's all perfect and it's moving toward completion, which is the increase, which is the idea that no matter how much you like that girl that you're in bed with right now, if your spark gets into her and starts a process of creating a child, that's love. No matter what you're thinking about and what she's thinking about or anything else, it's love that drives it, okay? Love that drives that initial spark. So source is love, and so God is love, and universe is love. And that's the way I look at it, Lee. And I mean, I'll hand it to you again. You take it, run at it.
Listen, it's perfect. There's nothing is everything and everything is nothing. It's this duplicity, which isn't, this paradox, which isn't. Nothing is everything and everything is not, all in the one and one in the all. And I relate what you were saying about that love to harmony. As you get closer to source, if you like, whatever you want to see this, it's more harmonic, more love, more symphony, more working together, not against, more amplification of energy, as opposed to limiting energy in the furthest realms, and lesser anxious, well, I'm going to say fearful thoughts. Well, they don't really exist. There is no more of that. And so we're moving into this amplification zone. Source is amplification. It's constructive. It works together, not against. It brings in and combines and accelerates all of these good things, as opposed to limitation and all of these bad things. All bad things. They're not bad. It's just the opposite or the antithesis. So it's from there to there up. And we're currently right at the bottom down here in all of this quagmire and this syrupy stuff. But that's the nothing and that's the everything. So to deny that we're actually everything in this nothing is like separation, and that just doesn't work. To understand that you are nothing and everything at once. Very difficult mind concepts based on the experiences we've been given. And like you say, imagination is based on normally experience. Well, can you release experience and imagine outside of what you know? Of course, what you know is limited. So then you have a limited imagination. But once you start to release what you know and say, well, I know nothing. Now my imagination is everything. So again, you get this sort of paradox. But if I know nothing, how can I imagine stuff? Try it. Is what I say. Try it with no limitation, because there is no limitation inside all of this. Of course, our past experience is all about indoctrination, intimidation, fear, stress, anxiety, all of these things which create limitation. It's not us. It's not what source is. That's not what God is. That's not what everything is about. So we've been living the complete sort of opposite or antithesis of what actually is. So I'm with you absolutely, brother, if that makes any sense. My little bit of rambling on that, trying to put all of this into a very, very concise little moment. But it's real. When you look at it, it all makes perfect sense if you remove what you think you know. Of course, that's the unlearn, relearn idea, or the just let go and release and unshackle. Allow for every possibility to be a probability. Why not? Well, we can't do that because of this. Well, I'm certain that source doesn't say, but well, we can't do that because of this, do it and see where we get. That's the beauty of this kind of free will idea. This option is to do things. Not don't do them because of fear. Do them. What's the worst that can happen? But So as this narrative breaks down, this is where we are. We're crumbling away this unlearn. This is where we are. This is what people are doing. They say awaken and learn. Well, the first thing you do is unlearn, because you got to let go of the belief that everything is real or everything is right. It's completely not, as is testament to what's going on. So as you unlearn that, then you release, and then your imagination goes haywire, and all of a sudden you're seeing things completely differently, which is why the likes of us, right, you go around smiling all the time.
What else are you going to do?
Beautiful.
You know, it's the word you chose there is no. Okay. So if you think you know, ask yourself, yes or no. You know, it's all about words and these games that are played with words. So do I know everything? No. Do you know everything? Fuck no. Fuck no for me too. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that in a hierarchical sense.
No, I get you, my friend. Don't worry, I don't get personalized by that. But in the longer period that we do know. This is the point. When you actually start to boil this down, we do know, because everything is known. We just don't know here. So we don't need to. If we don't know here, we don't need to know here. Just accept that we know at a higher or other level. So let that go. But don't limit what you can know. This sort of concept it seems paradoxical, but it because of the all and the nothing. That seems dual. That seems dual. You can't be nothing and everything. Well, okay. So it's the same thing with this. I don't need to know here because I know there. Well, how can you know there if you just don't worry about it? Let it go and let it flow, because this is, again, you don't need to know.
But I'll support what you said. So we do know. And the thing that we do know is love.
Yeah.
That's what we know. Okay. We don't know hate. We learn hate. We don't know anger. We learn anger, but we know love. So yes, I know love. I know love.
We are.
But I do love.
We are love. This is the beauty and judgment. All of these things we are taught behaviors. Now, what system would set up to teach somebody to fear, to hate, and to judge?
Mm-hmm.
Is that, would a humane society or a human choose to teach that? Yet that's what we accept as normal. Again, this is that where we go into this sort of, Lee, you're too binary. You see things, there's always a gray area. No, there isn't. It's either love or it isn't. It's either pure or it's not impure. It's simple as, well, there's gray areas in between. Well, that's only complexity that you design. Is it pure? No. Well, it's not pure then. Yeah, but it's only a little bit impure. Doesn't matter. Is it pure or not? It doesn't matter on varying degrees. There's the fact. Is the environment that we live in now toxic and abusive? Yes. Well, then it's no good for anybody.
It was.
Believe me. Sorry, my mistake on the wording. Was it? Yes. So we got to renew that. We got to re-envision that relationship. Then we can't fix it. It's no good for us. So we renew it. We change it. That's where we are, right? And this is what we're doing in the background from away from this, is running down different, more benevolent ways of completely re-envisioning this relationship we used to have. And what a wonderful time to be doing it when it's all collapsing for us. It's almost like it's divinely destined that narrative will do that, guys, as you do this and create the new. And look, lo and behold, we don't need to do much with it. It's playing its own game for us, right? It's doing its thing and destroying itself. It can't help but shoot itself in the foot as soon as it opens its mouth. And it doesn't matter which talking head opens its mouth, it shoots itself in the foot. And I'm talking through alternative media too. The same in there, in that truth aspect where everybody goes to believe it. As they start talking, as they start supporting these government structures in their own ways, they're shooting themselves in the foot. So they're losing their viewership as the viewership wakes up to this. So again, alt media that's purporting some what would be controlled opposition, if you want to call it that, a certain amount of truth, but then limiting it. They're losing their viewership as their viewers reach that point and realize they're not telling the truth either. And so they're all doing their own thing at different levels of taking people on a journey of a story, them getting to the end, and it's not satisfactory because it doesn't maintain purity and truth, transparency. There's a little bit missing. So then they look for the next story and the next story, and each story takes them a little bit higher and higher. And then they can look back at, God, I watched him and I thought he was telling me the truth. And now I can see that he's told me nothing but bullshit, really. Because once I get to this point, then the truth's changed. So we all follow these lines of truth. And of course, truth changes as you release what you believed you knew before. So at every level, we release what we thought we knew, what we thought we put our belief in. And as we realize that that's just another tether. We've seen this, you've experienced this, I've experienced this, we've all have over the last 2 years and many, many prior to that, but never so much over the last sort of year and a half. I think you'd agree how many layers that's been peeled back in both of us where, yeah. And so if it's micro, macro, so if we're doing it, the collective's doing it. So I see all of these different channels, different lines of truth, different individuals, influences, however you want to call them. They've all got their own little path, their own little way. We can judge them. We can say they're not saying the truth, this, that, and the other. But reasonably, they're taking the people that they need to lift those people to the next level. And then they follow a different path and they lift. And you see what I'm saying with this. So I've got nothing bad to say about what they're doing. I can say you're not telling the truth, but that's from the level above, if you like. You could say this, that, and the other. Same with Mr. Trump, you know. But if he was talking to what we're talking about truth-wise, he couldn't talk to the people he has been. They would just, what are you talking about, my friend? You fucking madman. Who voted him in, you know? Because at that, once you start to come up to this level of truth, then you've got a lot less that will believe you. So I don't know what Trump was doing, whether it was gematria, whether it was this, that, and the other, whether it's coded messages, whether it's all sorts of different stuff. But personally, I believe that there was some in there because it was my own view. I was breaking down what he was saying and looking for what he wasn't saying, the nuance in what he was saying. So I wasn't searching somebody else to find out, break Trump's narrative down for me. I was looking at it myself. How does this fit in? And did it fit in? Yes, to a certain degree. But it was so long ago now, and it didn't progress. So it's almost like he'd lifted them to a level where it plateaued and then had to step away so that people became disillusioned, so that they could then look elsewhere and stop believing that there's this one savior, which is perfect. So then they're looking for others. And of course, they're not seeing them, and Trump's not there anymore. So now who do we look for to save us? Look inside.
And you know, it's the difference between going inside and choosing, or choosing from something other. And I know, and you know, that transition in humanity is going to take a while, because people are still going to want to choose something, okay? Because the mindset of choosing just self in a world where we have built to this point just doesn't work for my mind, right? Because I'm always an add to guy, like you even suggested earlier, you know? So people have already started to say, well, DOSM versus GPMS or some silly stuff like that. You know, like it's when Lee and I talk, or if I talk with our buddy Hamid about spaceships and stuff, we just respect each other. He lives on a spinning ball Earth. I live on a flat plane. So what, you know? But the thing is, it's all our own stories. And if someone doesn't want to admit that, then they run away from me, because, okay, you know, like, and I love you anyway, but it is your story and it's your memory, whether it's your memory from birth or past life experience that you have remembered and I haven't. I'm not running that down either. It is what it is, you know. Trump's story is what it is. You know, Cutie Pie's story are what they are. You know, like it's never about us judging that. If you see that, and if you feel that we're judging something, then people run away from our channel again. You know, they just, those fuckers, they didn't support Trump. Well, okay, I love you anyway. Way you go. See you later.
No, we're not judging anything. It's just putting an overview on it. It's an honest description of what is, no judgment. That's all it is. It's the beauty of, you know, if you using the word judgment, or it's fact. It's a fact. It's not a judgment. It's a fact. And there's no, we're talking to it neutrally. It's not like we're angry with it, or it's just neutral. So people see it from what they will, brother. And it is what it is. And it's not GPMS versus DOSM. You're doing a wonderful job with what you're doing. And I hope You know, I pray that the funds flow. Again, we've spoken about this so many times, that if you can break that and that starts to flow, that's progressing the storyline.
Yes.
But do I believe that
like,
GPMS is the ultimate? Of course I do. You know, because it is. But are we there yet? No, not yet. Are you doing valid? You know, can you do something beneficial? Yes, you are. There is no DOSM versus GPMS. It's not. Your faction of individuals that follow you may not follow GPMS, but ultimately, this contains the ultimate freedoms and all the rest of it for humanity to choose. But that's the bulk of humanity, or a certain percentage of them, that see that the system needs to be re-envisioned top to bottom. That's slightly outside of what DOSM is. But it's what DOSM
slightly because we're and I think the difference is that there's such a pure natural design to what you guys are doing. And you know, like as soon as we bring in the word GPMS, and I screwed up last week, I thought he was talking about PMS, but yeah. But you know, it's the words that then people start to think and attach to words, right? But the simplicity and the divine natural nature of what GPMS is talking about eliminates the need for a medium of exchange, is the way I see it. It's just that that your process is so natural. It's like animals, you know, they just get what they want when they need it and everything is fine, you know? Yeah. So what we've done and what I've talked about, and I'll go back to where I popped out of mama's womb and, you know, started running.
Squirted. Maybe squirted might upset a few viewers. You could probably use a better word, but nevertheless, squirted.
Anyway, when I came out, it was like, then I started to add to my story. And like I said, one of the first things that I realized was, this is mine, you know? So mine being a really interesting word, because that is how we got our hands on these precious metals and stones and everything else that are unlimited. You know, there's no amount there that people want to grasp on believing. There's no limit, okay? And even if it's a plane of existence and it's limited by a dome, there's still no limit, because this plane of existence is creating it as we go along. You know, the diamonds are being squished by Earth's movement, and, you know, pressure is what creates diamonds. Same thing with gold and silver and all the other elements. They're being created. So there is no limit. Okay, so to say mine is where the first limitation comes in. And so in my mind, once I got onto that and realized the unlimited nature of that, and then the God source, frequency, resonance, vibration, currency, all those, that language is that God source, that spark within us, right? So let's take those two things and add them together in the story that I'm following and say, you know, let's add those two things to what we've already got, which is a huge infrastructure on this earth and an unlimited resource of these precious metals and precious stones and whatever else is available from Mother Earth's resources. So taking that and saying, you know, that's, I don't know, I don't like to use the word transitional. I just like to think of it as evolutionary, you know, like it's us moving to another state of openness, of acceptance, of abundance, and saying, let's use that abundance. Just like, you know, like crows, they go and gather shiny things and they take them back to their nest. There's other birds that do that kind of stuff. We're just animals that have been doing that. And then, but the crows, they just leave it when they're done. If they use it, there's a bird, I forget what it is called. Maybe I think it's a ovid bird, like a crow, but it'll do that, collect shiny things to attract its mate.
Magpie.
And then, what? Sorry?
A magpie.
Okay, magpie, maybe. But there's another one that I can't remember the name of, and I saw pictures of it. And they put this beautiful stones towards the nest that the male builds and then attracts the female. Well, once they have their eggs and their baby birds, let's just leave it there. It's not theirs, but us, these crazy humans. It's like, it's still mine. Even if I die, it's still mine. I want to give it to these people and give it to those people. Like, for Christ's sake, there's an unlimited supply of it. So why do we do that? But we've done it. So are we going to be able to change that mindset instantly? I don't think so. So I'm saying and we could. I'm not saying we can't. I'll say, I don't think so, because that's my thoughts, right? And my little reality. So when you say that those abundant assets are unlimited, most of it, the vast majority of it, is not even in the banking system, in safekeeping receipts, gold-backed certificates, or off-ledger accounts. The vast majority of it is just sitting there, right? It's protected by, governments who know it's there, or, mind controllers that know it's there. It's protected by the one world government in the Antarctic Circle, where one world government says, no, you can't go there. Chinese say, no. Trump says, no. Everybody says, no, you can't go there. So all of this protection by these goofs to keep us in that limited lack mentality when there is nothing but abundance. And abundance is, again, love. So we can get back to that love word or abundance word. And that adding to is something that I think that we've done in collaboration with the people at GPMS. Because you guys have said over and over again, the people will decide. Well, we're people. And there's people that are aristocratic people that know these things. There's people that are government people that know these things. And there's people like you and me that know these things, that are now collaborating and saying, we've got a plan. So that's coming from the people. And that plan is abundance for all, using, as I admit, a medium of exchange still. But the medium of exchange is not this. It's not this. It's not the gold. It is the banking system. That is the medium of exchange, not the currency, not the asset. The banking system is the medium of exchange. That's where the flow has to happen. And when it happens there, and when it's where it's happening now with us, is the key to getting us moving forward again. Without the limitations, without the mind control of government, just with that transaction, that peer-to-peer, beautiful, using the medium of exchange transaction. God's energy, which is within us, frequency, resonance, vibration, and currency. Mother Earth's precious treasures and resources, not ours, Mother Earth's. And then the medium of exchange. That's it.
I don't knock it, brother. I don't knock what you're saying. We've talked to this so many times. There's an interesting one on this mind thing. I was just following a thread on another channel. I nearly replied, and somebody was saying mind this and ownership and this, that, and the other. And this brings me back to piracy, and basically where this pirate structure that we've got now, it's all corporate. This piracy became a business, and the business became the business, and blah blah blah. You can look at it however you want. Some people will get what I'm saying. Some will, what's he talking about? But piracy became the corporate structure, and the corporate structure became the legal system of barter, however you want to see it, the legal system of exchange, the legal system of company versus dealing with company. And inside this legal structure is the element of mine and ownership. Inside common law, constitutional law, there's a little bit of that, but then you get into natural divine law, there is no ownership because everybody recognizes what it is. So then it's use it and share it, and what, don't take, whatever. So the whole system has been set up from piracy. Are we in a pirate system now where one can steal? Yeah, all they did was made it legal for them to do it. And pilloried those, if you're not a pirate, then you're not in the pirate ship, kind of thing. So these guys then, this system created the legal structure, which undermined all of the other structures, removed all the rights under the element of this pirate flag, where they had the power, and they used the power through fear narratives and through intimidation narratives like a pirate would. Do we see that now? Exactly the same. So have we got any rights? No, they're all gone. We're legal entities. Why? Well, what? How did that happen? Because a system was created that created ownership, that created control management through fear and intimidation. Is that what we're going to be expecting going forward? Is that what we will accept going forward? In my mind, no. So you're completely true. And the bank is the medium of exchange, but who owns the bank? So it's all very well getting money through the bank. And that's what I love you for, my friend, for that resilience in this for the last year and 18 months plus, putting that love into those bank structures. Of course, what GPMS says is the people can choose to own the bank. And I take the word own. What I mean by that is take stewardship of the systems. So where you're doing is you're breaking it through and you're allowing that flow within that structure. GPMS says sooner or later, the people will realize that pirate system cannot be maintained, will not be maintained. And therefore, we're going to shift this toxic and abusive relationship into a benevolent, loving, abundant relationship. That's the difference in the choices. That's all there is between what you're saying, DOSM, is moving the stuff and getting the banks to work with us. And GPMS is saying that all of these systems have proven themselves to have been manipulated, failed. They're toxic, they're abusive, they control the narratives, they remove rights. The people are going to see that. When the people see that, then they will choose to take control of
right. But that's what I'm saying, Lee. And I mean, we're in agreement, I know, yes, on most of what we're saying, but we are the people. And the people that are coming forward, that are coming into that banking system with love. Like, I'm dealing with QFS teams now. Like, people will talk on the QFS side of things. The man who came into us this week with so much love is, in my mind, I mean, we've got the top 2 QFS teams, I'm going to say, but this guy, and I don't like to think of it in terms of hierarchy, but my God, when you put a lot of work into something, then you deserve a little bit of some kind of a title, if you want to call it that. Like, God, you know, the man is just freaking brilliant. And he saw how we've got in our team aristocratic family members from 3 separate organizations, okay? One being the backing of the American Federal Reserve System, okay? One being the backing of the Dragon family system in Asia, which, again, both these systems are talking about unlimited amounts of assets, okay, from this Mother Earth's precious treasure. And then the Bank of International Settlements, we've got them on board. And it's not on board because we've infiltrated these systems with people, not persons, not corporate entities.
No, people.
But people.
See, that's the top bottom. This is the pincer. This is the pincer bit that I see happening, is the infiltration, if you want to see it as infiltration with people, not persons. It's crumbling and rocking and putting the love into the malevolent system structure. The people that don't know yet, the vast majority that don't know yet, that are a little bit scared of a complete change at this point because they don't realize how bad it's been. They're gonna, when they all open up and say, what? Then this system's being rattled then from top to bottom and the keys just get handed over. Then all of this work just unites together. So if you can breach it and allow some flow in the middle before everybody wakes up to take guardianship, wonderful. They're working together. This is the beauty about this. It's not DOSM versus GPMS. And I don't want these interviews and these chats to come across like that, because we work together, man. And this is the fabulous thing about it. Of course, there'll be individuals that don't like GPMS and there'll be individuals that don't like DOSM and they'll follow one or the other. And they put their own separation in their minds. DOSM and GPMS are the same in different stages or different movements of this same game. That's all there. So if DOSM comes first, it unites. Well, however we look at this.
Yeah. And along with, you know, the term QFS, because a lot of people have jumped onto that story. Fine, we're working with them too. You know, it's not about dropping anybody. Trump we're working with him because he's thinking in terms of the people. He even says that. That's one of the things that I admire about the man, is like, we got to give America back to the people. Those are words that comes out of his mouth. That stuff is real.
And that's pure. That's pure. Yeah, that is pure. Now, The only thing they
don't have to decode that.
No, but they can't give more information to that timeline of people at that point, rather than we want to give it back to the people. Well, that's what you talk to with DOSM, and that's what GPMS talks to. But we talk on different levels to what Trump can give out. Because if he did give out what we say, the whole of that script is blown. The show doesn't continue to the final cut, and it ends prematurely, and we know that that's never a good end.
That's right. We still have to have some order. Okay, the order being, the thing that pisses off so many sovereign people. But if you don't want to fall under any order, then we're in anarchy. And then what? Like, we still have to have some kind of a story. That's where
as I said before, brother, when we use the words like anarchy, I do always like to interject with anarchy and chaos just means it doesn't follow a prescribed order. So the prescribed order is not being followed. That's anarchy. Well, who prescribed the order? So yeah, again, I don't mind using the terminology. I just like to throw that in because anarchy can sound so bad if you're not open to. Well, we don't want to follow that, but you're anarchists then. So be it. But this is a loving environment, and that's not. So we're anarchists in a loving environment. I'm sorry, I choose to be an anarchist. But so I just throw that in as a sort of balance to the word anarchy.
Fair enough. Thank you, brother. And we're not going to go long today. Like, I want to say hi to Andy. I see he's over in the corner there.
Andy, come in, brother. Come and say hello.
Hi, Rand. How you doing?
Hi, Andy.
Hang on.
Love, peace, and harmony from the Hobbit world.
I love you, brother.
The Hobbit chewing wasabi peas.
Very interesting.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you enjoy it. I hope everybody enjoys it, because that's what we're here for, is enjoyment. We're not here to, piss anybody off with our humor and our making fun of things. Like, I mean, most of what we make fun of is the morons that think they're government. Like, that's just moronic and just complete insanity. And anybody that follows that still has to wake up. And we know that, but that's okay. We love you anyway.
We've got some interesting. I'm just going to throw in on that one. I'm going to use some words that may need to be edited out. We'll see. But we've got some interesting conundrums coming up very shortly. And as much as you're just talking about government, well, they can't exist as they did.
No.
Then we've got all of the government structures behind them that can't exist like they did. All of the superfluous jobs for the boys and the bureaucracy that can't exist like it did. Maybe some sort of big businesses like big tech and big pharmaceutical and other things like that, oil and gas that can't exist like they did. So once we start to break this down a little bit, what structures can remain like they did? And I can't think of any or many that can remain like they did. Now, the structure's not wrong. It's just the way they were used necessarily. So they all have to be re-envisioned.
That's where I want to tie my ending into this, because I think I'm ready to go. But I'm excited to get down to that trucker thing. But
okay,
I want to share what I think, and then you go ahead and end it for us, Lee, this time, if you like, because that structure is what I found with Dynastic Order of St. Mary. And that is that family natural structure, okay? We are adding to the story of Jesus Christ and saying, what the hell, you guys, why do you keep not saying Mary? Why do you not keep saying, their children? And the child, Sarah, that we know existed and that is related, bloodline related to some of the people that have the funds to discover that with DNA. If I had the funds to discover it with DNA, you and I could very well be related. I mean, if you go back even 300-400 years and think of how humans are connected on this planet, I don't care what color or race or so-called nation you're from, we're all connected in some level. So, that aside, getting back to the natural, nurturing, loving family of woman and man, whether that be balanced in your own brain as a masculine, feminine, or a woman and a man and a child, it's what attracted me, okay, to that story. And that story is never ending. It is the evolutionary story of mankind. It is the co-creation aspect of mankind. It's the co-creation aspect of everything on earth. Cell division to every animal, every plant, every live thing on this plane of existence where we live. So that was the beauty of it. And I mean, did I have to get into a point where I chose a position? You know, yes. Do I have respect for other positions in that organization, in our organization? Yes. Is it one family? Yes. Is it under one common law pure trust? Yes. That doesn't think in terms of ownership, that just thinks in terms of sharing and love and humanitarian projects and comfort for everyone and everything every day. So I think I'm going to end my little rant for today and get back at her, and I'll leave it up to you, Lee, to finish her off.
I'm going to come back to you just for the last little bit, but beautiful,
Sure.
brother. And the wonderful thing is that whilst we're all doing this, you're creating your groups of benevolent individuals that you're vetting, blah, blah, blah. Vetting's the wrong word, but you know exactly what I mean by that. And when humanity chooses to re-envision the whole, then these individuals are already there doing, you know, and they can just walk straight into whatever role they're going to be in. Whether that's within DOSM, whether that's within a re-envisioned GPMS, whether that's within whatever it is, it makes no difference. They're already standing up. They're already, their names are there. You know who they are. They're already in positions. These positions, and I spoke to a beautiful brother the other day, Cameron. He's got this idea of metatocracy, and I love this idea of metatocracy, where there are positions, but everyone's equal. It's just you, the job you do. And I love that idea. So then we haven't got a hierarchical level. You're above them. No, they're all equal. They're just doing their job in that position. So it's not a status, it's just a position. And these ideas, this is that more inclusive verbiage, words that we can use rather than merit. We can use meta, equality. All of these different things all come together as we start to unite. And this is where we are, that unity. So it doesn't matter whether there's a perceived separation between what we're doing. It's not. It's uniting. And that unity and that common goal is the key for me. So once we all unite, it doesn't matter whether there's 20, 30, 50 different factions, they're going to come together inevitably and naturally, organically, that will happen. But they're all doing the same thing. And that's heading to one thing in different ways. And this is the beauty of where we are. This is being created while the old is crumbling. In fact, it's there, ready, whilst the old is showing itself to be what it is. So that it's undeniable to the masses what's been going on. It's no longer conspiracy. Now it's factual. And nobody can argue that anymore. They can only argue it with themselves, right? They can't, no, you're talking, no, it's too late for that now. We're at that stage where the old is showing itself, it's showing its hand, it's got no blood left in it, it's however you want to see. And the new is already there and being constructed, if not already constructed, certainly foundationally it is, for that choice to come in. Now, whether it comes in, where it comes, it doesn't matter. It's unifying towards something new. And that is wonderful, brother. I love you, Randy. I love anybody that's watching as well. My love to you all. Please finish this off, my friend.
What do you mean? With peace, harmony, love, abundance, and freedom for everyone and everything every day on our minds? Abundance,
That'll
harmony,
do.
health, love, and euphoria. Oh, there's Andy's thumb.